Hello everybody and welcome back to Creation Myths. Today we are talking about a recent paper and how Discovery Institute has gone all in on being wrong about human-chimp genome similarity. This came about because a paper last month, I'm recording this in June of 2025, so last month a paper came out looking at the chimpanzee genome and the degree of similarity to the human genome. And let me tell you, Discovery Institute really liked this paper. I noticed that they had more than one article on their front page of their Evolution News blog at one point, so I went back through and I'm just wondering how many articles have they actually published on this paper since it came out. And as of this recording, it turns out the answer is 16. They've put out 16 articles on the Evolution News blog about this one paper between May 20th, 2025 and June 26th, 2025. And I bet there will be more in the future. So Discovery Institute is obviously extremely enthusiastic about this article because they're claiming, and it's mostly Dr. Casey Luskin, but not exclusively, they're claiming that this new paper shows it's only 85% similar, and apparently this is some problem for evolution or something. So let's talk about what's actually going on in this paper. So this recent paper reported that about 85% of the human and chimp genomes could be aligned, right? If you're doing a base-by-base comparison, you have to line up the genomes so you can compare the bases. And what this means is that there's about 15% of the genome where you couldn't align them. And this is usually due to like large-scale insertions or deletions, right? Now, this is a different type of comparison from a sequence alignment. When you do a base-by-base sequence alignment of the human and chimp genomes, you get 95 to 99% similarity based on what's being compared. If you're only looking at protein coding genes, it's going to be higher. If you're looking at the whole genome, including both single nucleotide polymorphisms and insertions and deletions, it's going to be lower. But no matter how you do it, you get somewhere in the mid to high 90s in terms of your percentage similarity. The difference exists because there are some regions that can't be aligned and therefore can't be directly compared. And again, these are going to be regions where you have insertions or deletions, or you have lots of repeats, so it's hard to figure out where the two genomes actually line up with each other. And that's why you get 85% when you're looking at how much can actually be aligned, but you get a much higher number, 95 to 99%, when you do an actual base comparison. So let's look at how the creationists are presenting this. The key thing to understand here is that these numbers are not new. We've had these numbers since about 2005. Now, as we've done more sequencing, right, we've sequenced the human genome and the chimpanzee genome more completely since 2005. So the numbers we have now are more complete and they're more accurate. But really importantly, the numbers in this new paper are not fundamentally different from what's been reported before. In the past, you had to kind of dig into the numbers and the supplementals to get that number for what you could align. But at the very least, since 2020 or so, we've had directly reported numbers on how much of these genomes could be aligned. It's basically the same as what's been reported here. So for some reason, creationists just latched onto this new paper, even though it's not showing anything new. And to be crystal clear about this, it doesn't change our understanding. This new paper doesn't change our understanding of the degree of similarity between the human and the chimp genome, nor in how that level of similarity compares to other species, right? You look at humans and chimps and gorillas, or like comparisons among the different cats, for example, and it all works out basically the same way. If you use that lower number, the number for the alignment rather than the base-by-base comparison, everyone's numbers get lower across the board in terms of their similarity, but the degrees of similarity across your different groups, right, humans versus chimps versus gorillas and so on, that pattern stays the same. So what creationists are doing here is they're saying we used to think humans and chimps are 99% identical, but now we know it's only 85%. And I want to be clear, when creationists make this claim, that is a lie. They are conflating two different measures of genome similarity and claiming that the higher number was revised to the lower number, which is not what happened. They are two different ways of comparing the genomes, and when you do an apples-to-apples comparisons, we haven't changed those numbers very much at all in the last 20 years. So I want to, one more time, be very clear about this. The statement that's on screen, we used to think humans and chimps are 99% identical, but now we know it's only 85%. That is a lie. Don't let creationists get away with it. They're lying to you when they are making that statement. So that's it for this one, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to hit like and comment, subscribe, and all that stuff before you go. And as always, don't get fooled.